pharmacies. And that's part of the problem. And when you're dealing with, what would you say is the average cost for chemotherapy for somebody? I'm going to put the number, say, at $200,000. Okay, you multiply that times 1.5 million cases a year, and you start to realize that the enormity of the economic force behind all of this, and you start to realize why all they want to talk about is cure. They don't want to talk about cause. I mean, I found an incredible story in the media once. I was so shocked by it. I went to the newspaper and sat down with the editor to talk to him about it. And they said, cancer rate not set in childhood. Well, what does that mean? That the vaccine you got is not causing your cancer? And what I found out when you read the detail of the article, again, the big print giveth and the little print taketh away, what I found in the detail of it was this was a story of people born in Vietnam who went to Canada and had free health care, and less people died in Canada than in Vietnam. And they were skewing the headline in order to put it in this context that you don't have to worry about the vaccines. I mean, there's big money behind this, and I think big money has a lot to do with it. And when you get into who sat on what board of directors, you wind up the usual suspects. I mean, this place in Indiana, what is the name? The big pharmacy in Indianapolis. Well, it turns out the Quayles own it, and George W. Bush sat on the board of directors. So there's a lot of overlap.
Is that Lilly?
Yeah, it's Lilly, Eli Lilly. Yeah. Sorry, thank you. It's 4:00 in the morning where I am.
No, that's okay. Well, when you talk about cause and effect, how many years? It was 44 years, I think. Jerry Lewis has been holding this telethon to try to battle muscular dystrophy. 44 years. And he has probably raised a couple $1 billion, I would guess, or close to it. We still don't have a cure for muscular dystrophy. That's a lot of money that has gone into research every season. He raises $60, $80 million. I'm sure there's more money flowing. That's a lot of money, Ed. And still no cure.
It's the issue of the sheriff catches the bad guys, and he's no longer a hero,
Next up, we go to Bradenton, Florida, east of the Rockies. Tony, good morning.
Hey, George. Another great show. Thank you very much.
Sure thing.
I just got two questions that I just want to clarify because it's so confusing, this webbing to me. I'd just like your guest to reiterate what he said before. I just want to know, why was Mary killed and who killed her? And I'll take my answers off the air. Thanks again, George.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, those are questions that nobody's got clear answers to, because unless you interviewed the person that killed her, you wouldn't know what the real motives were. The fact that she happened to die the morning that the Warren Commission started its investigation into Oswald, and you realize that she was connected to Oswald, that raises a lot of suspicions for people. I personally think that the laboratory was the target, not her, per se. And, for example, if Dr. Oshner had been the one who walked in there and flipped the switch and his arm had been blown off, they wouldn't have been able to take him back to his apartment and call it a sex slashing, which is what they did to Mary Sherman, who was a widow from out of town without a family in the area.
She knew too much, didn't she?
Well, she certainly knew a lot. I mean, just like they wouldn't let Oswald into a courtroom, I don't think they want anybody asking Mary Sherman questions about all this. I'm not sure, I'm more of the opinion that this was a battle over the White House, and the people were playing really serious games with their own private people doing this. But somebody tampered with and sabotaged the electrical wiring in that thing, which is why she got electrocuted. That's my take on it. And whether that was to shut her up over Oswald or whether that was to blow Oswald had a ID card on him made out to A.J. Heidel, which came from the U.S. Public Health Service Hospital. this is the evidence that's laying on the table at the exact time that there is this incident at the U.S. Public Health Service Hospital. I mean, does that not call your attention to it? And where is this place? It's a half a mile from Lee Oswald's apartment. It's a half a mile from Dr. Oshner's house. It's about a mile from Mary Sherman's apartment. It's right in the center of all this.
It is too bizarre. What about witnesses to some of these events? Do you have good witnesses?
As far as I'm concerned, we do. Let me say that the original witness to this would have been Lee Oswald, and he was killed. And the next witness was Jack Ruby, and the odds, that one looks like he was injected with cancer to shut him up, too, because he was knowledgeable of this activity in New Orleans.
What happened to David Ferry?
I've had people who are professional pathologists tell me that David Ferry was murdered. Officially, the coroner said he died of natural causes. I think, given the timing on it, it looks like he was professionally silenced, meaning killed. But people could argue over that one. Officially, he was not murdered. Officially, it was natural causes. Judy, who's the girl who worked in the lab in David Ferry's apartment, is the primary witness at this point in time. And then the question that comes up from that is, well, was there anybody who saw Judy and Lee Oswald together? And yes, there is, and I have a video of her on my website, drmarysmonkey.com, and her name is Anna Lewis, and she was actually the wife of David Lewis, who worked for Guy Bannister, and they used to socialize with Lee and Judy, and they would, like, double date, and she talks about this on camera, and so there is another live witness to the witness that supports all this. There are other people that are alive that I don't want to get into their names because I'd like them to stay that way, who are very knowledgeable of this, and if the right person asks them the question, like, before Congress, they might even get a straight answer out of them.
Did the Warren Commission ever ask or interview Judy?
No, that's why she's alive, basically. I mean, what's amazing is that it was Moynihan, who was Judy's boss at the Riley Coffee Company, who testifies to the Warren Commission but doesn't mention Judy. And the other thing is that Judy's signature is on Lee Oswald's time cards. So when the Warren Commission asked Moynihan about that, he gave the commission a list of the dates and times that Oswald clocked in and out, and the Riley Coffee Company gave the FBI Oswald's time cards. However, they didn't put it in the Warren Commission. Why not?
Exactly. We're going to take another final hour of phone calls with you, Ed, when we come back on Coast to Coast AM. The story is Dr. Mary's Monkey. The author, Ed Haslam, will be back.